What's going on, Bass-TEC fans? I hope that was not as glitchy on y'all's end as it was mine. So I apologize. My laptop dumped out on me last night, so I haven't improved with another laptop. It's not as high quality speed. So tonight, Hooked Up Live, we'll be interviewing Five Alive Bass Club's points champion. So for a moment here, if I can get over here to my sponsors to go through, and hopefully this will all come through clear. I'd like to thank G2 Gemini Jerseys for sponsoring this Hooked Up Live. If you have not got over there, check them out. G2 Gemini Jerseys, G2Gemini.com, and you can get 25% off any angler jersey orders. All you have to do is enter in on the coupon code G2 Georgia spelled out 21, and you get 25 off. We thank them for their sponsorship. Our next sponsor is that of Line Taming Serum. If you have not got over and checked out Line Taming Serum on Facebook, social media, check out the link provided here within the description, and get over there and check out some of their amazing products that they have that help out line conditioning, scents to be able to put into your plastics. We appreciate their sponsorship with our Hooked Up Live. Our next sponsor is that of Lithium. We appreciate our sponsorship through with them. If you have not, get over, check them out, lithiumpros.com. It is the one battery that you need. It's an amazing product, lightweight. If you haven't laid your hands on these batteries, get over there, tell them that the TEC sent you to them, and they will take and hook you up, I guarantee you. So we appreciate their sponsorship with our Hooked Up Live. Our next sponsor is that of Nate's Custom Boats. If you have not, get over and check out on social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, as well as Facebook, Nate's Custom Boats and Accessories. If you're a lot of people I've seen post out there getting boats modified, getting built, and everything like that, get over there, check it out. They have got a lot of amazing products to be able to customize, build your own boat how you want to. Tell them we sent you, and we'll be giving $30 off tonight, coupon through with Nate's Custom Boats and Accessories. So make sure, like us, give us a comment so you can be entered in for the drawing. Our next sponsor is that of Dugout Bait and Tackle. Get down there and check them out, Kennesaw, Merida area. They got Facebook. You can go through and take a look at all of they have kayaks and tackle. They have live bait in the back there. They even do customizations to kayaks, tricking them out and everything. So get down there, tell Jamie and Craig that we sent you down there. I've got hats that finally came in that we're going to take and going to give a hat away. So make sure, like us, leave us a comment. We appreciate the Dugout Bait and Tackle sponsorship. Final sponsor, Star Lures. If you have not, them out already. We've already been telling you past couple of shows. Star Lures. They offer soft plastics. Some amazing products. I've even seen where they're started doing some spinner baits and some hard baits of different kinds. So get over there and check them out on Facebook, Star Lures. John is amazing. If he doesn't have the product that you're looking for or the color, I guarantee you he is the man that can hook you up. So we appreciate our sponsorship with our Hooked Up Live for Star Lures. So no further ado, let's dive in. Five Alive Bass Club anglers, David Adamson, as well as Travis Simmons. Welcome, man.
What's going on?
Hey, good to see you.
So I will mention this just in advance. Travis, he had mentioned earlier when we was getting everything set up, technology today and all the troubles that we go through. Travis's device may wind up cutting out on his battery life before the show ends tonight. So I'm going to throw this out there, guys. You better start throwing some questions pretty quick to Travis because we're gonna rapid fire him tonight. So let me look here. Stephen Bostic saying that the audio's good, but video is lagging. So is anybody else experience the same thing, seeing it? Is it still lagging? Just leave us a comment, guys, if you notice that. I'm trying to just check and see if it's caught up.
I got it on two different things right now, and it's lagging between the two of them, but it's not like a glitch. It's just one's about a minute behind the other.
Okay, good deal. So let's go ahead and dive in while some comments come in. Josh Thompson says, "Go home, Travis."
He wishes. I would. Well, Josh needs all the help he can get, Merrick. He needs all the help he can get. His partner leaves him hanging sometimes.
He does. I hear you. So let's dive into this because y'all have a situation with y'all's boats. Y'all both have boats. Travis, if you don't mind, maybe going first and tell us about your boat setup, sir.
Yeah, sure, no problem. My boat is actually a 1995 all-wheel that my dad bought as a present for himself after my graduation from high school. He felt like he had completed his task and gotten me through the gambit, if you will. But yeah, we had it fully decked out in 95 by an older gentleman who was a sheet metal worker, lived in Carbondale, Illinois. And his name was Hoppy. So the boat is original from 95. It was all been done that way. I guess it was 2 years ago now. I went over to the ePropulsion. I do run a stick steering setup on it. It's a remote throttle. It's all Bluetooth, no cables involved there. Full lithium. It's got 160 amp hour Roy Powell 48 volt battery on the back end. And then I run Dakota lithiums for the front trolling motor set up in the house batteries in it. So it's a little light. It's a little quick. Gets down the lake about 7.5, 7.8 with David and I on a good day. So that's not too bad.
What's your total weight in batteries? Roughly.
I've got it's about a pound per amp hour on the big battery. So 160 on the back end, and then 47 pounds for the rest of the lithium running the boat. So call it, 207 pounds worth of weight.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, it picked up quite a bit of speed when we got all that lead out of it. So definitely, I'll advise anybody who's looking, don't wait. It'll be the last batteries you buy. So
same thing as far as like charging rates and everything like that. Just really real quick.
It's incredible. I fished Saturday with the guys in high voltage. Came home and plugged it in, and within 5 hours it was ready for Sunday with Jonathan and Soy and SOS. So definitely a good setup. Doesn't help you catch fish.
So let's hear about this. You fished Varner then Saturday. They locked on pretty tight on bed?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brett took us all to school that day and did an absolute fine job of finding those fish. You could find them. It doesn't mean you can make them eat, you know, and he definitely had that dialed in. Definitely had that dialed in.
Wow. That is awesome. So let's hear from you, David. Let's hear about your boat set up.
It's a 99 low 17 footer. I'm also running all lithiums. Running the ePropulsion Navy 6.0 on the back of it, tiller steer with the Navy batteries in the back. My total weight of batteries, oh man, 160 pounds tops. I got a lot less big battery pack on the back than Travis does, but I mean, we fished the first season with the motor with those batteries, and they never let us down. We could go anywhere we wanted to go. So he went ahead and upgraded to a bigger pack than what I got now. But I'll probably soon follow with a bigger pack.
You got a 24. Go ahead.
Oh, it's also right now, it's actually tore apart. I got Anthony Jones with Brigade Boats redoing the entire thing. All Nate's hatches, all hydroturf, full paint work on it. We actually pulled out the entire deck because it was set up, you know, kind of like a tracker house, you know, factory decked and everything. And we pulled it all out, and we changed all the hatches. I had 2 live wells in the boat. We went to 1 large live well, full flow right set on it. And one cool thing is I'm changing the the whole back compartment is actually going to rise up, so that way when you go to load these big battery packs in there, I can use my tractor to just lower them in instead of having 2 or 3 guys try to manhandle the battery up in there. And now I can just lower them in with the tractor. So
that's awesome. You're running 24 volt on the front trolling motor?
Yes.
Old Trex?
I actually run a Torova.
Okay. Got you. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
So Wayne Glaze, I'm going to pause for just a moment on this. Give Wayne a second. He said he got an 8-1 on Sunday. I don't think that was in a tournament. Maybe he was just pleasure fishing. If you don't mind, Wayne, just did you catch it at Varner? Did you catch it off a bed?
Oh, he's talking about the top speed. I fished with Wayne on Sunday down at JW.
Oh.
And yeah, we saw 8-1 there for a little bit when we got through. I guess it was on the other side of the bridge and had 100 yards on everybody else in that glassy water. It sped up quite a bit, so it'll scoot when it has to. I
guess I got a few pounds on Wayne then.
Yes, you and I both.
Man, I when I hear 8-1, I was sitting there thinking bed fishing. There are already some big ones coming off a bed, so
yeah.
Well, let's kind of dive in. Let's talk about this. Y'all been fishing the ePropulsion motor for some time now, and tell me about it. What's some strong key points of running the ePropulsion? Travis, if you want to run with it first, sir.
Yeah, happy to. I think the biggest thing that I've noticed out of it all is just the overall amount of torque that it has and the power that it can put out. You know, I think as far as when you look at 2 things, a couple of things when you're talking fishing, right? You're saying, okay, well, how fast can I get there, number 1, and how much power am I going to use getting there, number 2? And they've been really good to us as far as the power consumption versus the speed that we can draw off of them. So that's a huge factor in and of itself. And then obviously having the ability to Bluetooth your throttle control so that you're not necessarily fixed to any one position in the boat. I think a lot of guys, you know, can attest that if you can move that weight forward and still drive the boat, you know, it will pick up a lot of speed, and at the end of the day, it makes up for quite a bit of time. And then, really, lastly, I mean, it's the price point. It's really fairly priced, and it's a good product. They've got a really good support network around them, and obviously adding dealers and building their dealer network here in the States. It won't be long, and you'll see a lot more of them out there. That's a fact.
Oh yes. I've done got word confirmation of so I ain't gonna go into talking about it yet. So let's talk about this. Okay. Nobody has laid eyes on the new Evo series. Y'all are familiar with the Evos?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if y'all want, maybe kind of give some input on, what upgrades, what additional items, features the Evo series has on it. And I don't mean to make y'all men get paranoid. I'm not disconnecting. I'm just taking my video feed off and just letting y'all talk about it. So, David,
no I'm gonna let David run with that one. He's probably got more of the in on that one than I would.
Shoot, go for it, David.
The big two things with the Evo would probably be that they moved the motor down to the foot, so it's a direct drive now. So you got no loss. Literally, the prop is right there on the motor instead of coming all the way down the shaft. No cooling or anything like that. It's all underwater. And then they also the handle now tilts more. So on the original Navy 6, like what me and Travis had, you can't tilt the handle. Like if you want to bring it up to maybe clean some line out of the prop, you got to turn it sideways and then bring it up, because if not, on the tiller steering way, the tiller will hit the back of the deck. So on the new Evo, it folds up some, so you can still tilt it up. So that's probably the biggest two upgrades on the motors. Same watt power and all that, but just bringing that motor down to lose that helps you on the loss as far as through the, I guess, drivetrain, like you would call it.
I'm really excited to hearing it run, because word on the street from what I hear is the Evo series is a lot quieter than the Navy 6.0. So
that's gonna be hard to believe, because personally, I think the Navy is pretty quiet compared to some of the competitors that I've been around. I mean, maybe I'm just biased. I don't know.
So Rick Porter's saying that's my homie. Who's the homie?
That's a buddy of mine.
I got you. So let's hear y'all. Y'all looking forward to competing? Here we are, just a couple of months away from our next state championship.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be hard to top what Taylor and those guys did this last year. I mean, that was something to see what they did in November. That was a heck of a showing. But hopefully May plays a little bit more into our favor, and I think we got a little bit of something for them. Let's just put it that way. Hopefully we come out running and at least put 20 pounds out there. So,
yeah,
but hey, we're gonna give it our all. That's for sure.
So Jonathan Comby has a question here. And folks, before I say the question on this, if you've got questions, make sure leave us a comment. These men will be more than glad to answer any questions that you might have, motor related, fishing related, anything you want to put them in the hot seat on. That's the way you get entered in for the drawings. Like us, leave us a comment. So Mr. Comby's wanting to know, what is the price on the Evo? And I don't know if it has came out yet.
The 6.0, I do not believe has made its way on this side of the pond yet. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure the price stayed the same.
Yeah.
It's going to be. I would probably safely say, yeah, it probably is. Comparable pricing to the same. It's utilizing the same battery systems, correct? I mean, nothing's changing on the batteries. So other than the Navy series batteries, I think are kind of fading away.
No, they're still gonna. Last word I got, they're still gonna keep the Navy batteries because of their newer batteries. The size of them is kind of non-traditional dimensions. The Navy batteries are more traditional dimensions. So with the Evo batteries, they're more squared and not so much, like your traditional 31 or something like that in that range. They're more squared and flat.
Gotcha. Whoops. So this thing's my computer. I apologize, yo. It is so sluggish. Josh Thompson said Tanner Carson.
The infamous Tanner Carson. Yeah. Yeah, that's JT's partner. I borrowed him for a little bit of a couple of seasons, and pretty good fisherman. Kid can fish without a doubt. He's fast with the net. I can tell you that. Fast, lightning, like lightning. You need it. He's got it right there. So.
All right. So here's, man, I keep comments coming in. This computer is so draggy. Mr. Porter has got a question saying that what is one of the number one mistakes that rookies like himself, he's saying, makes in general? Like what's something that y'all might give him as a pointer of one mistake that a rookie makes in fishing these John boat stuff?
Slow down.
Slow.
Yeah. Slow down and fish. Don't get in a hurry. Yeah, you gotta trust your area. You gotta know that they're there. They can't get out and walk and go up to Arby's and get something to eat. They're gonna be involved, So I'd say just slow down and trust your gut. It normally won't lie to you.
Yeah. What do you think, David?
Yeah, I mean that's probably the thing. Far as and just putting time in, that's probably one of the biggest things. I mean, it's hard to go out there and be competitive. That's why everybody's stronger on some lakes than others. It's because more likely they spent more time on that lake to have the bag that they have than anything. I personally feel.
Would y'all disagree with this? And I ain't trying to steal spotlight from y'all, man. As a suggestion, don't necessarily worry about what baits or techniques that, say you're out there on the water and you see somebody blistering them on one bait. Don't really worry about what everybody else throws. Go out there, do your own thing, stay confident in what you do.
Yeah, it's true. I think just, fish to your strength and definitely not your weakness.
Yes.
That and just throw a purple worm. For God's sake, throw a purple worm. They'll eat it.
Or green pumpkin.
That too. Yes, sir.
All right. So that was a great question, by the way. Alan Garman wants to know battery packs. Y'all are both running the battery packs, correct?
Yeah, we'll
David
both
is Alan.
Travis is running a Roy pack.
Travis.
That's one of the beauties of the ePropulsions is that you're not tied into their ecosystem. I mean, you do lose some features, but it doesn't. I mean, you can put any battery pack you want on it as long as the voltage is right. So Travis is running a Roy pack, and I'm running the actual ePropulsion packs.
Gotcha. So Corey Piner's on here saying Josh Thompson. Jonathan Comby, a.k.a. Netman. I guess he was talking about that comment from you a minute ago there. So, man, this thing is so slow. Alan Garman, more about batteries. So hopefully that may be expanded a little bit, talking about the batteries. That is a great feature that ePropulsion does have. You don't have to necessarily run just their battery series that they have out. You can actually utilize your own type of battery. Doesn't even necessarily have to be lithium.
No.
So
Yeah, no, David and I ran some AGMs before, and it was good, but what we noticed was that you didn't just get the full amp draw, not because the motor didn't want it, it was because the battery couldn't discharge it. And I think bang for the buck, obviously lithium is the way to go. When you look at what amount of space that your battery is going to take up in your boat, and you look at that as like stored energy, right? So how much potential life can I get out of it, and how much capacity can I pull out of it? David educated me a lot on this when we were getting into the process, and that was, lead acid's fully not, you don't ever get the full potential out of a lead acid. Once it drops below a certain threshold, the motor's going to shut down, and you're really not going to see exactly what it can do. When you get over into the lithium, I think, what is it, David, 80 or 85% of the battery you get?
It depends on the battery, anywhere between 85 to 95%. And then some manufacturers actually rate them at that. So if they're only going to give you, say, 85% of the battery, they will just tell you what it's going to be. So,
right.
that 5% of the battery that's in the pack might give you, 100 amp hours, but that's what they're going to market it as. When you go to lead, they're going to market you like say a 27 at like 115 amp hours, but usable energy, you really only have about 50 to 60 amp hours usable energy, and not to mention your voltage drop is so bad that you're actually drawing more amps because your voltage drops. With the lithium, it stays at a higher charge, and it drops slower. You got more of a flat curve on the downfall, unlike lead acid that just drop immediately.
It's a large investment to make, but at the end of the day, I think, Merrick, what you see is the rate of return. And if you're passionate like David and I are, then it was kind of a no-brainer. It's time to get it and get over it, and just kind of move on. It truly does make every bit of your time on the water that much more enjoyable. I can't stress it enough. It's worth every penny.
And not even just talking about the packs for the motors, just go back to the small lithiums. A lot of those have a 200 life cycle till 80%. So basically, if you buy a 100 amp hour battery, they're guaranteeing it at 2,000 cycles, you're still going to pull 80% of what the battery capacity is. And most of them have about a 10-year guaranteed lifespan too. So with that, you think about it. If you fish Saturday and Sunday every week, that's only 100 charges, 100 life cycle, or 100 cycles a year. So if they're saying 2,000 cycles, the battery will die of old age before you actually kill it with
wear it out. Yeah.
With actual charging it and everything. As long as you take care of it and do the proper, don't let it sit dead, don't let it sit fully charged. If you're using it every weekend, you're not going to have a problem. Just go fish more.
And this week, everybody's getting their stimulus checks. So go get your lithium batteries.
That's right.
Joe.
That's right. Pump that economy up.
All right. So Alan has got another question here. What's y'all's go-to colors and baits? David, you want to sling it first?
I don't know. I don't know enough I want to say it. I mean, pretty much everybody that knows us, they know. Me and Travis are notorious for holding a fairy stick in our hand all day long, throwing a drop shot with a purple worm. I mean, that's it. I mean, but we will hold that thing in our hand from sun up to sundown.
Win, lose, or draw, you commit.
Yeah.
You commit to it. I mean, I would say that we don't necessarily get too one-dimensional in the boat. Typically, one of us has got something else going on in whatever fashion to try and dial in the bite for the day. We had our last tournament with 5 Live this last year. We ended up over at Hard Labor Creek. I would normally go out and attack that lake a little bit different, but being closer to the fall, we caught them all on chatterbait. We threw chatterbait all day. I mean, that's what the bite was, and that's what we had to throw. It's not because we didn't want to throw the other worm. But after 2 hours of no bites, you do something different, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that kind of goes into part two to this. Jonathan Comby had said, what point do y'all put down or pick up the purple worm or go to the quote unquote cleanup bait? So you pretty much nailed the question there by answering it already.
Yeah. Well, normally if it's not purple, it'll be some variation of. So we'll leave it at that.
That is the cleanup bait.
Yeah, that is the cleanup bait. Start with it, finish with it, everything in between. That's really how it goes. But, you know, I mean, there's a lot of diversity to it too. I mean, we'll throw that same rig on a bait caster, you know. If you're trying to fish that worm out at Harlibber Creek, and you can do it, you just can't throw it on anything less than 12 and hope like heck you can get them out of the trees when they hit it. So
So, okay, y'all saying that. Do y'all, what kind of fishing line do y'all have on y'all's setups?
I run braid to sniper most of the time. I've been playing with that Yozuri T7 here lately, and it seems okay to me. I haven't had it fail too much. You know, obviously it will, but not too much. I wouldn't say it's as tough, but for the price point, it's pretty nice.
Yeah. I'm running basically the same setups he just said on all my spinning tackle. And then the bait casters all run red label. So that's the same thing. It's not the best. It is strong though. You know, to me it reminds me of the old big game that everybody used to throw. But it's a lot cheaper, and you're still getting the fluorocarbon characteristics. It's just, you know, not the top dog fluorocarbon, but I mean, if I got to change out a reel every 2 or 3 trips, I can buy a 1,200 spool roll for around $40-50. So it's not too bad.
I will voice and echo right behind you. Red label. I love throwing red label.
Don't mess up. Put
Sure
it on.
do.
Yeah, but big game.
What?
That big game is nice. The big game is nice.
You can't go wrong. Big game.
To quote the great Jeff Souza, there is no shame in big game. So very smart guy right there.
It is. Mm-hmm. So David Hammett, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. What type of leaders of knots do y'all use?
There's only one. It's an FG all the way. All the way. It's thin, it's strong. I've lost fish to the polymer knot, but I've never lost a fish to that FG. Not between the leader and the braid. Not yet. Knock on wood. So
same thing, David?
Oh yeah.
David's got a hell of a knot, man. Don't let him kid you, Merrick.
No.
He knows who to go to.
Yeah. I'll be the first to admit it. If we're in the boat and some odd reason I snap a leader off, Travis can tie that FG about 20 times faster than I can. I can tie one, but it's quicker for Travis to stop fishing, whip that thing up in about 20 seconds and hand it back to me than it is for me to sit there and for 20 minutes trying to tie it. So
it saves a lot of curse words in the boat too.
So, okay, before y'all answer this next question, we dive into this one. Are there days to where y'all sat down the ferry one and you just, I want to try to power fish? Or do y'all ever get into those modes of, you know, testing the waters per se? Not on a tournament day, but just pre-fishing.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I do like to crank. I do like to crank, you know. So if I can get away with it, I will crank as often as I can. I do like a bladed jig. I'm not a real strong jig fisherman, but yeah, if it comes to it, there's a time and a place, you know. And a trap, a chatterbait, and some sort of a 5X or 6XD you know, if I'm going to move away from a shaky head or drop shot, that's what I'm going to go to.
Yeah, Travis throws a lot of the XDs and stuff. I like a lot of the Spros. I like the Rock Crawler a lot. The Little John. I guess that's probably my two main. You know, the different depths, of course, but that style I like throwing a lot.
Yeah.
And I like throwing chatterbaits.
Chatterbaits are awesome. I love them too. So Mr. Adamson has a question here. I think it was already kind of mentioned earlier in the beginning of the Hooked Up Live. What's the top speeds? And obviously, David's going to have to get back probably on that top speed question, but maybe you can give what yours was running prior to the teardown. What speeds are y'all's boats? And as far as the weights go, maybe he's meaning as far as shifting the weights around different places, helping you, hurting you. Travis, you want to expand on it?
Yeah, I think lead. I think when I was running leads or AGMs, I guess I should say, it was getting about 6, 7, almost 7, just shy of 7 with it. I did make a few changes, you know, to mine with adding the trim plate on it so that I could move it around. But solo in the boat by myself, the best I've hit was 8.5, and that was just with me in it. Obviously, I think there's some value to having some weight in the back of the boat because that's where, you know, it's the widest. It's more stable back there that way. But yeah, really just keeping it 50-50 and kind of keeping it split up. I know did fish at Black Shoals this year and was lucky enough to get in between Blake and Daniel Nicolai, and I think we saw 9-1 that morning just because of the way the water was helping us drag. You know, they were kind of dragging us through the water, I guess you'd say. And yeah, it was quick. It was quick, but like I said, if you've got the money and you can get it done, get rid of the lead. You'll never regret the lithium. You'll truly see what your boat can do once you do it. You know, it's worth every penny. So
with the boat I'm running, I've actually, even though I owned the lithium batteries for the ePropulsion, I ran AGMs on it at first, and I could, on that boat by myself. Well, I had my son with me. I could hit about 7-1 with the AGMs, but not long because I had only 31s in the back, and it sucked them things to dry really quick. But we tore the boat down before we actually put the lithiums in it to do a test hit to know what I'd run with the lithiums. And now that I also, like Travis, I'm full lithiums when I get the boat back. There'll be, you know, trolling motors, accessories, back motor, everything will be lithium.
That's awesome. So Comby did agree, FG all the way.
Yeah.
Josh Thompson saying Alberto.
Take that to Canada.
Say what?
Take Alberto to Canada with him.
Yeah, he would.
So, Mr. Clem is saying hello to you, Travis.
Yeah, it's a good. I guess you could say a good friend of mine. It's my cousin from back home, Chris. He and we got into some small tournaments together, and I venture back to Illinois every now and then, and I get to do a little pre-fishing with him in the summertime. He fishes state clubs there, so.
Good. See, good. Big boats or small boats?
Big boats, yes, sir. He kind of cut his teeth on the smaller waters, I guess you could say, like what we fish down here. Fishing some horsepower restricted lakes, 25 and under, and yeah, he's tough. He's taught me a lot about patience out there. I can tell you that.
There's a lot of those smaller lakes that's up there in Illinois.
Yeah. A lot of them too in the south end of the state that were old strip cuts, you know. So the acreage kind of matches up with what we have down here, and some degrees it may have helped me a little bit moving to Georgia and being able to figure out those patterns, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, Mr. Beatty, Kevin Beatty saying, do you throw traps all year or mainly early spring?
Mine's going to either be in the spring or in the fall. In the summertime, I won't get too noisy with it. You know, it's going to have to make a little noise, and definitely dirty water. You know, if you've got a little dirt in the water, get something in there that they can hear and they can find. That'll help them out. But yeah, spring and fall for me.
David?
I don't know. I'm feeling it.
He don't own one.
I don't.
How many do you have, David?
Of rattle traps?
Yeah.
I probably got maybe 10. Not many at all.
It's way more than I got.
Oh.
I've got like 2.
I got 10 on the wall. I got 10 on the wall and at least 50 in the boat.
Yeah, Travis got a whole box of city.
Yeah, when they get on that bike, they're hard. So
I don't even like to tie on one of them that I got. I still got it. Caught our biggest bag, 23 pounds on in a tournament. And, man, it scares me tying it on because I'm wanting to take it and make like a mural thing on the wall and stuff. But I don't even know if I want to say his comment. Jonathan Comey said, put the pen down, Trav.
Have it, but
hey, it's kind of like a fidget spinner, man, right?
Well, I spend a lot of time in this chair, so what can I say?
So, Mr. Sung, Soy Sung, saying, what is the best battery and trolling motor to get for a broke person like himself?
I actually know the answer to that one. I'm so glad he asked, actually, Merrick. He's got so much of my money after the last 2 tournaments with that guy, he can buy whatever he wants.
So he's not broke.
No, he ain't broke. But no, I just stick within your budget. You know what I mean? Like really just whatever your budget will allow. I can promise you that it will be good enough for what you're trying to accomplish. You know what I mean? If you're going down that road. Like I said, I've got the Dakotas. David runs amped, and another really good battery. But just whatever that pocketbook will allow you to have, go for it. It's worth every dime.
On a note to that too, though, Travis this year jumped up to the new Motor Guy Tour Guy Pro. I tell you, out of all the new trolling motors on the market, dollar for dollar, you can't touch that one. I mean, it's more than $1,000 less than all the big guys. With the Lowrance, the Garmin, and the Ultrex. But that Tour Guide, I mean, I really like it. I've never been a Motor Guide fan, and I've ran Travis's a couple times, and it works. It works good. It looks goofy. I will say that it's one of the goofiest ones on the market as far as looking, but it works.
So I do want to mention something on the batteries. Get over there and check out Lithium Pros. We've got the link on here. Tell them the TUC sent you, Soy, and hopefully I'm saying that correctly, sir. Tell them that I personally sent you to them, and they should treat you right on it. But it also gets in what type of market you're looking at for batteries. Like if you're looking at still going AGM styles, or depends on what type of motors you want to run. I don't even know what setup. Do y'all know what he's got for his setup?
I think so. I think he's running Haas wings on the back end, and I think he's got a Minn Kota on the front of the boat too. If I'm not
mistaken. On the front.
Yeah.
So he's two Haas wings.
Yeah, twins.
So he's running 2 24s on the back, probably another 24 on the front.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
I mean, I'm telling you, a lot of things are fixing to, and it already started, but lithium batteries are going to start taking a dive as far as the pricing goes, and it's going to get very, very reasonable to a lot of folks. So, and when I say reasonable, I mean you look at how much people are putting out on trolling motors and stuff like that, kind of like what you was talking about a second ago.
But if you think about it now, they are still pretty reasonable. Yes, a big upfront cost, but if you're going to get that many charge cycles out of it, what do you replace your lead acid? About every 3 years, give or take. So, I mean, you wife's aggravating me, but
so he's saying one hot swing on the back and a 24 on the front. So I mean, you're only looking at 4 batteries. Which, keep in mind, if you weren't familiar with this, the Lithium Pros have got a 24-volt battery. I actually done the test runs at last year's TEC event. They're 130 amp hours. They're strong. They are very, very strong, and they only weighed, I want to say it was like, I can't remember exactly. I'm going to guess 20 to 30 pounds, and that was all they weigh. So you only would look at probably 3 or two or 3 batteries right there in itself.
Yeah, the weight savings is tremendous. I mean, literally, it's like the commercial says. It's like leaving your partner on the bank when you can, when you can get that kind of weight on the boat. So
you better get more batteries than that. You're going to be on the bank.
So Ben Adamson saying I catch more bass than David and Travis can attest to.
That's a little brother.
Yeah. We know who's doing it.
Yeah.
Michael Cheek. I just got mine in today. I'm assuming he's maybe talking about a lithium battery.
No. Michael's running the same motor guide I've got now. He's going to have that on his tractor. So, yeah, he'll enjoy that.
Travis, you're getting put on the hot seat tonight, saying, when are you guys drawing the name for free batteries? Like you said, laugh out loud. Love you, cuz.
Yeah. Well, and that Ranger he's got, he can afford them. Don't worry.
All right, so back to a bait topic here. Ron Pendergrass, what's y'all's favorite jig combo to throw, and when do y'all throw it?
Man, for me, it's going to be brown on brown, brown on brown, and the only time I'll pick it up and throw it really is when it's the last thing I got in the boat to throw. So,
what do you like to add on the trailer?
I'll typically go with like a Strike King Rage Bug, something a little smaller, something a little bit of leg on there and a little bit of color. But I like to throw purple into that. If I'm gonna be honest, it's normally
a little PB&J.
Yeah, a little bit of purple in there as well. Yes, sir.
I don't throw one. It's not a confident bait to me.
Mm-mm.
Oh man,
I don't throw spinner baits either.
Would y'all agree or disagree to this? Do y'all go through phases to where, like, the fairy one's your thing, and 5-10 years from now, you'll get on something else and then just roll with it for a long time?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always been mainly a worm guy. Different techniques. Shaky head, Texas, pinned, unpinned, wacky. I mean, that's really, I guess, what I cut my teeth on in soft plastic a lot more than I do on moving baits. I'd rather catch them on a worm than anything.
Yeah, I think, I don't think David or I, either one, have really thrown a jig a whole lot out there, but I can tell you there's, at any given moment, probably 65 pounds of soft plastic floating around in my boat. So in some way, shape, or form, that's normally going to be part of our day. I don't know. David can probably attest to this. I mean, heck, there was a tournament we had down at Juliet this last year where he literally pulled out a soft plastic that I'd never seen and never thrown, caught our kicker fish, and stuck us in the money with it. So, and he did it on a ferry stick. So,
Nope.
you know.
Nope.
Yeah, you did. You did it on a ferry stick. It was at Juliet. You were
Nope,
there.
I caught that one on that red short SLX with
Oh, that's right. That's right. He sure did. He sure did. It was the one he was bragging. He picked it up at Goodwill that day, Mayor.
yeah.
And that's exactly what
Oh
it was.
man,
You're right. I stand corrected. I stand corrected.
I have never thought about.
I did pick the kicker fish up on JW with the ferry stick.
Ooh, well, that was a tough one to call, though. What'd that fish weigh, David?
4.8. What did yours weigh?
I think it was 4.8.
Yeah, 2 fish in the boat at 4.8. We couldn't even argue who caught the bigger fish.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now. You just said something that, honest to goodness, like of all the things that I have picked up on, a lot of good anglers saying baits and topics and stuff like that, or batteries or trolling motors or anything. I go into Goodwill with my wife shopping for clothes. Like I even go to the short section or, maybe look at some dress clothes for church or something. But I have never really thought about, hey, let's go over there and look in like a fishing section in Goodwill. I will definitely from now on always look in the Goodwill section of fishing.
You'll find rods. I can attest. I have found rods that I've honestly used and thrown from Goodwill. So don't knock it.
I love it, man. I'm telling you, that may go down in history as probably like one of the strongest things I've heard. I'm serious. You might think I'm crazy, but so Soy Sung as well as Kevin Beatty is asking questions about pricing for batteries, lithium batteries, 24-volt batteries. I mean, one thing I can say as far as the lithium pros, give them a call, talk with them. Obviously, their pricing that's on their websites, kind of like the MSRP to it, retail price, but get over there and talk to them. I promise you, you pick up the phone, you call them, tell them I sent you. If they don't treat you right on the price, you pick up the phone and you give me a call. But if y'all men want to add into on pricing of batteries, if y'all know.
You'll spend on the motor what you're going to spend on the battery. They seem to go hand in hand. If you're talking about a drive motor and an electric outboard, if you're paying $3,600 or $3,800 for an outboard, you're going to have roughly that in the battery and the charger. Does it stack up to a gas motor? I think in the long run, yes. I think it's a no-brainer. Your cost of maintenance is a goose egg. There's nothing there. So, yeah. And to your point, Merrick, really shop them, because what they're asking for them, a lot of times you can get a better price on them. You have to shop them, find the right guy who's motivated to sell his product, and he'll work with you. So,
yes. That is true. I love that. You want to give a mention on the ePropulsion packs? Do you remember the cost on them?
It's the only one I remember is the big one, which is a 175 amp hour. It's right at 4,000, and I don't think that includes a charger. Charges another couple $100, but competitively through other motor companies, that's probably one of the better deals by far. And it's one pack. You ain't got a daisy chain, packs together, and everything. So it's just set up. Unless you go with the older Navies, you had to run 2 Navy batteries together, which I have, but the new ones are just one contained pack.
That was good. Very little. Who catches the most fish and who catches the big fish during a tournament?
that's an easy answer to the question. It's very little. It's very little. Very little catches the most fish and the big fish during the tourney. But no, it's 50-50 in my boat. David's done he's landed just as many big fish in that boat as I have. There's definitely days where he's clicking better than I am and days where I'm clicking better than he is, but it's a solid team effort every time. And I can honestly say that. David and I started fishing together this last season full time, and it really works. You know, one of us may be having a bad day, but the other one's always there to help pick up that slack and get us through that tournament to whatever degree we can, you know.
And I'd say hands down, between the two of us, neither one of us cares who catches it or who's running the net. As long as they're hitting the boat, I'll stand there all day. If Travis is on a hot streak, I'll stand behind him with a net ready to go. You know, it don't.
It's all about putting meat in the box. It's all about putting meat in the
care
box.
who catches it.
Man, I appreciate all the comments coming through tonight. Of course, the night that my computer's all dragging and everything. David Hammett, Travis, don't forget my guided trip to Horton.
I'm going to take him. But by golly, I got to get him to take me to one of those guided trips at Merriweather. That guy's got him dialed in down there. He's a heck of a stick. David's actually a good friend of mine, and he's helped out the family. He gave my father-in-law a boat to work on for a while out of the kindness of his heart, and helped me out with getting a really good trolling motor at a really good price. So definitely a solid competitor and a heck of a guy. That's for sure.
That's awesome. I'll go ahead and give a shout out to my dad, Bobby McClure. He says hello to number one. So I'm interviewing number ones tonight. Not me. I'm not number one. They're the number ones. Alan Gorman saying that he's wanting to buy your setup, Travis. There's you an offer. First time it's happened on a live show.
Man, it sounds to me like that little boat's made a name for itself. Yeah, I'd love to sell it, but unfortunately she's not for sale. But I can tell Alan exactly where to go to get him one just like it. And we can do that. We can do that in a private convo, Alan. I'll be happy to help you get that set up, sir. Happy to.
It's kind of like what you were saying earlier. It just means a lot to you.
Oh yeah, there's not a price tag on that thing. If I had a nickel for every memory I've made with my father in it, I'd have a stack of them, and I wouldn't be sitting here doing this for a living. So,
well, man, Travis, your phone actually held out for good little bit.
I'm afraid to touch it, Merrick. It might just up and froze. Yeah, I'm afraid to touch it.
So Alan's saying not the boat, motor, and battery.
He wants the motor and the battery. Yeah.
Not the boat. He wants the motor and the battery. I got you.
My advice would be to hold out for that E-drive, because I'm telling you, when they drop it, there's a really good chance you're going to see at least one, maybe two on mine. So really good chance.
Talking about the Evo series?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, the Evo is going to be a big game changer, step up.
Yep. Hopefully, if the good Lord willing, I'll be able to have a dual setup on it by that time. So,
yeah. I'll pause for a moment, guys, gals. If you have comments, questions, we're getting on to about an hour here and don't want to drag us out any further. Unless y'all have comments, questions, got just a couple minutes here. We'll kind of wrap up and conclude. So, going into this event, to the TEC, are y'all nervous about it? Y'all anxious? Feel a little bit better than the last event?
Well, the last event, me and Travis didn't fish together.
nope.
I actually fished out of Travis's boat, and he was fishing with somebody else.
Yeah, I did a sub with Joey Benice. His partner David Little couldn't make it. I had some family stuff going on, but I think we've got a solid game plan together for it. You know, I definitely think we'll be going up that main arm again. There's a lot of water back there. It's an absolute wonderful fishery. What the state of Georgia's done with that lake and how they've treated it, and I've heard some stories about what they got out of the last shock of it this last year when they did their little zap and run through there with the wildlife department. Yeah, yeah, it's not going to be long before you see a 30-pound bag come out of there, and it could very well be the TEC that it happens. And like I said, I hope I'm a part of it, when it does. So
let me know if you'd like to see that shock study.
Yeah, I definitely will when we get done. I've heard some stories.
I've got the 2 past years shock studies.
Yeah, I've heard some stories. I heard 2 years ago it was 10 over 10 and 400 yards, and then it was this last year. I think there were several 13 plus. So they're there.
I even got some photographs from that 2 years ago. I believe it was maybe 3 now. Actually, it would be 3 because we're in 2021. But 2 years ago, it wasn't as good as the first time. So I debunked that a little bit. That's why I was wanting to say it. Don't get me wrong. They was still some quality, but not as dramatic as it was the first time. So,
well, do you think that the acreage has something to do with that on that lake? Because that is such a large body of water to be an electric only reservoir, and it just seems like they've got so much area to hide in out there.
Well, here's have y'all ever been? Go ahead.
You say, are they doing the whole lake, or are they just doing sections of it?
So that's the way the shock studies are done. They literally each year, and I've been out with them whenever they've done on DNR, has done on some lakes, and they literally pick stations. They have, literally their generators on the boat that when they flip the switch, that timer starts and it shuts off after a certain time period. And each year they go back to the same start location and run it. So my thoughts are this. I mean, and I've done it multiple times. Went back year after year. Sometimes the variables are different. I mean, if they're up shallow, spawning maybe, you have a stronger chance to be able to shock up some big ones. But if they're not, if it's already post spawn, a lot of the boat setups that DNR have, they can't shock, very deep. So, I mean, some years, that's what I'm saying. Some of the studies are not as, you're going to have those years. It paints a picture of not necessarily to see all those giants, but get those small ones in and be able to see, and I'm not no biologist, but obviously maybe the smaller ones, you might have some weight to it. Are they healthy? Are they lean? That'll paint the picture to know how good the lake is. So it was a good report from what I've seen on all of it. So trying to go back through and make sure I ain't overlooking comments. Everybody's pretty much on here saying, good job, fellas. Great interview. Let's put this out here. Sorry, guys. I need Mac Knoll saying he needs a partner in a trail. We can use his own boat, long as one of you run it. So I'll kind of throw it out there. Sounds like he's wanting a partner, maybe, or is this sarcasm?
No. I think he Back would be a heck of a person to partner up with. I know he makes a fine jig. I know that he's a heck of a bait builder. I'm pretty much going to be wrapped up this year. I'm going to fish a couple of different trails. I'm fishing with Five Alive, obviously, and going to see that all the way through. And then I'm also going to run with the guys at High Voltage. And then for a Sunday series, I'm with the Georgia Bass SOS. So my fishing schedule is about as full as I can get it for the year. And it's I dread the idea of even asking her if I could have any more, So
fish while you can. That's right.
Yeah. As long as she'll let me.
Well, men, women, appreciate each one of y'all. Men, David, I really, Travis, appreciate both of y'all jumping on here, taking time out of y'all's daily life and sitting down and going through these questions with different folks. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'm not going to lie, I'm serious when I say this. The goodwill is honestly probably the best thing I think I've ever heard. Ever. Like, not knocking electric outboards or lithium battery packs or spot lock, all these different things. Like the Goodwill section fishing rods, like, man, I might even try to see if I can go find some for the TEC so we can give them away at the event. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, I've got one, Merrick, and I will make sure that you end up with it when we meet out there in May, buddy.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, folks, men, I appreciate both of y'all tonight, and we'll see y'all here in just a couple of months.
Sounds good.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it very much so.
Whoops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut y'all off so quick. Sorry about that. Y'all take care. Have a good night.
You too.
Too,
Take care,
brother.
Merrick. Bye-bye, buddy.
All right, folks, that's it. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm not going to go back through the sponsors with it like I normally do from the beginning of the feed, just because it was so glitchy. But make sure, get by, check all of our Hooked Up Live sponsors, G2 Gemini jerseys, Line Taming Serum, Lithium Pros, Nate's Custom Boats and Accessories, Dugout Bait and Tackle, Star Lure Companies. We'll be giving away items. All you have to do, folks, is like this video. You don't have to do it right now. If you go back and watch this later on, it don't have to be during the live feed. Leave us a comment again. Even after the live feed, you can leave a comment. Like us. That's the way you get entered in for the free drawing. You'll be someone will be receiving $30 for Nate's Custom Boats. We got some swag for Dugout Bait and Tackle. So, folks, appreciate one of y'all tuning in tonight. Good Lord willing, our next Hooked Up Live may possibly be 1st of April sometime. Ask each and every one of you to keep me in your thoughts and prayers, but foremost, keep the lost world. That's always upon our heart, more important than ourselves. But I'll be going in for a heart ablation surgery at the end of this month. So ask each and every one of you if you could keep me in your thoughts and prayers. I know the good Lord's got me either way. I'm a winner. So on my salvation that he's given me, I'm ready to go. So want to see a lot more things done, but I appreciate each and every one of you's the depth of our heart, and we'll see y'all back in a few weeks. Take care.